originally from Mexico and brought her family here. She's a successful businesswoman, and she is actually opening a second place down in Croydon. So this, I wanted to bring you here because this is also a very important part of Bensalem and Bucks County. This is a part of the community that a lot of people aren't familiar with, but you need to be familiar with, okay? You would have seen Congressman Fitzpatrick probably in here, and he probably doesn't even know a lot of these people here exist. So we're making this the TM tour tonight, okay? With me in the audience, I have a lot of people that actually were pioneers, business people, Latino business people that started things in here in Bensalem and have been successful. We have the Latin American business, Marta Zamora and her group, and her husband Osvaldo. And these people have been here for 20 years, business folks. We have Dr. Farouk, our doctor and resident. We have our two councilmen, Democratic councilmen, Ed Tokmajian and Jesse Sabone. We have Helene Ratner, who's from the Bucks County Democratic Party, and Steve Wallace, also from the Bucks County Democratic Party. And then myself, I'm Teresa Conejo. I'm the ex-president of the Bensalem Democratic Organization. I'm a mother, I'm a grandmom, I'm a nurse, I'm an activist in the community. I've been activist, since 2008, 2009, I think when the first Sensenbrenner bill came out against, that they wanted to make all immigrants go to jail and anybody that associates with them go to jail. So that's when I started my activism in the community. But it's really important this year. We have a great chance of taking hold in the House. And we're going to do that through the path through Bucks County. This year we're fortunate to have an excellent candidate, Scott Wallace. Scott is a native of Bucks County. He grew up here. He's involved in the community. He actually, before I even knew he was running for his office, I seen him out protesting. He was protesting something up at Fitzpatrick's office. I think it was about the DACA, renewing the DACA students. We had 287G was trying to roll out here. Our police wanted to become immigration officers. So the community gathered together and they went to the council meeting and we were able to put a kibosh to it. Scott was out there. So he's with us, he's with this community, and he's going to stick up for us. You know, it's a tough year. If we have everyone come together and we just put our efforts together, tell a friend, get people registered to vote, get people to know who Scott is, I think it'll be very successful. So with that, Scott, do you want to say a few words?
Yes. Thanks, Teresa. Thank you, Teresa, for those nice remarks. Thank you, Ariana, for all your help and for this wonderful place. I love the artwork. Feels like home. And thank you, Dr. Farouk, and all the other dignitaries. The secret to this election is got to be our excitement level. There's so much going on that is energizing everybody, not just Democrats, but I think independents and even some Republicans are just, they've had it. They've had it with the 287G, they've had it with the kids being separated from the parents at the border and they can't figure out how to put them back together again. How is this the government that works for us? How can we be so incompetent and so uncaring? So I'm from Bucks County, born and raised here. My parents were very active in the community, working on civil liberties issues, working on open space, always crusading about something or other. And it sort of took with me and my brothers. My brother became a township supervisor up in Tinicum Township, not too far from here. And then I went off to become a public interest lawyer, worked in the U.S. Senate for the Senate Judiciary Committee and for the Senate Veterans Affairs Committee during the Reagan years, then worked for a couple of nonprofit organizations, making sure that there was legal counsel for indigent people in both civil and criminal cases, working for the National Legal Aid and Defender Association. And then when my parents passed away, Christy and I inherited this family foundation that has a focus we sharpened the focus on women's empowerment, reproductive rights, civil liberties, civil rights, vote protection, fighting these crazy voter suppression laws, trying to restore the Voting Rights Act. The Shelby County case in the Supreme Court is an absolute abomination, and we do have to fight to overturn that, because the states that have been doing the voter suppression measures for all those decades, well, it turns out they still want to do them, and they just can't help themselves. And then we worked on climate change was our other big issue in the foundation. Christy is kind of my secret weapon in this race, because she is a 20-year career diplomat in the U.S. Foreign Service, including service in countries that President Trump has called S-hole countries, like El Salvador, Dominican Republic, Panama, and then Africa, and in Hungary under the communist rule when the Iron Curtain fell. She put her life on the line for this country, and her dad was a Pearl Harbor survivor. So I'm incredibly proud of her life of public service. Together, I think we've made a great team, and we still do. She's more popular at her events than I am at mine, I think. So we've got to get to work on basic issues that are under threat today. We have to restore health care for all. Trump is just ripping it apart piece by piece. Obamacare was not perfect, but it's like a Jenga game. It's just pulling out the sticks until the whole thing falls down, intentionally sabotaging it. So we have to get back to a serious commitment to health care for all. As low cost as possible, cut down the price of prescription drugs. That's outrageous, the most expensive prices in the world. We have to do immigration reform, comprehensive immigration reform. I cannot believe that when a measure has 90% support in America, like relief for the Dreamers, I cannot believe that the Congress cannot find it within themselves, within their conscience, their moral compass, to do something that 90% of America wants to happen, a path to legalization for the Dreamers. Instead, they have to weigh it down with stuff that nobody wants, like the stupid wall. Comprehensive immigration reform is tough. I was working for Senator Simpson in the Senate, in the U.S. Senate, when he was chairing the immigration subcommittee, and he got it passed in 1986. And it was a long, hard slog, because you've got to balance those who want the tough border security, and you've got to have a pathway to some legalization for people who've been here, been productive, tax-paying, law-abiding citizens for a long time. It's a difficult balance, and you've got to deal with the employers that are actually part of the illegal immigration problem, because they're happy to have the cheap labor flooding across. So that's a huge priority, healthcare. And my number one overarching issue I want to talk about is money in politics. It's what ruins everything that the people want. Every item of business, whether it's healthcare, whether it's clean air, clean water, climate change, holding Wall Street accountable, protecting consumers, guns, everything is blocked by the corrupting influence of corporate money in politics. So that's the reason I'm not taking any corporate PAC money. I refuse to. And I'm also, because I can, I'm personally matching every contribution, every dollar that comes to me from a person living within this district. Brian Fitzpatrick has taken almost $1 million in corporate PAC money. And you know who he's voting for when he passes the tax bill that gives $2 trillion to corporations and rich people. You always know that he's with somebody else. And I want you all to know that I will always be with you, with the people of this district. And I want to do legislative reform when I get there. I want to make a serious commitment to getting transparency of corporate political contributions, to getting public funding, matching funds for low-dollar contributions, and ultimately a constitutional amendment to overturn Citizens United and get the ability to get corporate money out of politics 100% forever. So, I want to introduce our distinguished guest, all the way from California. She is the vice chair of the House Democratic Caucus, the highest ranking woman of color ever elected in the history of the United States of America. Fifth ranking position in the leadership of the U.S. Congress. She's the first woman of color, or the first pair of sisters ever elected in Congress, Linda and Sanchez. The first Latina ever on the House Judiciary Committee. The first Head Start child ever elected to Congress. And co-founder of the Labor and Working Families Caucus of the House of Representatives. Someone I look forward to working with closely to work on issues of justice, equity, economic fairness, immigration reform in the House. Someone I will be proud to call a colleague in a few months. Sanchez.
Democrats that were excited about the midterm elections here in Bensalem. Is that true? Good. We're bringing all of that energy because we've got a short time between now and the November elections. It comes up really quickly, but we have some outstanding candidates that are running in seats that we believe we can flip from Republican to Democratic. And I'm standing in the middle of one of them right now, and we need to send Scott Wallace to the United States Congress. So I don't want to go on too long about my background, but I just want to tell you a little bit about me. So you might be thinking, what's a woman all the way from Southern California doing out here? Part of it is to see what rain actually looks like, because we haven't had that in Southern California for a long time. But part of it is because we have 23 little seats that we need to elect Democrats in order for the Democrats to take back control of the House. And let me tell you why that's important. We have an administration and we have a president who rules by temper tantrum. And every morning that I wake up in the morning, I have a pit in my stomach because I wonder what world leader the president has insulted, what member of the cabinet is leaving today, or who's been indicted or convicted of a crime that serves the president. And it's sad when you wake up every morning and know that it could be one of those things or it could be all three of those things on any given day. So I come from Southern California. Both of my parents are immigrants from Mexico. So yeah, very proud of that. And for 16 years that I've served in the United States Congress, I have been working on a comprehensive immigration reform to pass and to provide some much needed relief to folks who've been working hard and playing by the rules in this country. We want to modernize the immigration system. But I'll tell you, I lost my father earlier this month. My father worked hard and sacrificed so that he could send all 7 of his children to college. And he is the only father in the history of the United States that can say he sent 2 daughters to serve in the United States House of Representatives. So when you hear Donald Trump and the Republicans say that all immigrants are rapists and drug dealers and murderers and drug traffickers and on and on, it's personal for me. It's personal because the vast majority of immigrants that come to this country contribute to their communities. They've worked hard. They're just looking for some opportunity. And yet, in one fell swoop, the president dismisses them and brushes them all with the same coat of paint. Now, there's a reason why he does this. And this is because working people in this country have been struggling for far too long. The policies that are in place don't benefit hardworking Americans. They benefit rich multinational corporations. And if you have a doubt about that, I want to draw your attention to the tax bill that passed last December. Now, nobody likes to talk about taxes, right? But I serve on the committee. We were not allowed any input into the bill. And what that bill did, I want to make sure that you understand, it gave a permanent 14% tax cut to multinational corporations. It gave, and those were permanent, it gave modest tax cuts, about 2%, to some individuals, but those are temporary because they expire. They sold it as a middle-class tax cut. Now, I want all of you to know, because I'm sure you stay up late at night and you worry about this, the Republicans, like Mr. Fitzpatrick, really had your best interest at heart in that tax bill, because now all of you can breathe a huge sigh of relief that you can pass on the first $11 million of your estate onto your heirs completely tax-free. I know that you guys worry about that at night, right? All of us? You know, first $11 million of your estate tax-free. When I tell you that, you understand who really benefited from the tax bill. It wasn't hardworking Americans. In Congress, I serve as the vice chair of the caucus. We fight every single day on behalf of people who work hard and play by the rules, who are falling further and further behind. And what the president does, he tells those people that the people to blame for that are people that don't look like us. He uses fear to try to divide us, and he uses fear to distract away from who really holds all the power and influence, which are the very, very wealthy in this country. Well, I know the best way that we can put a stop to that is to elect folks like Scott Wallace, who care about the communities that they want to represent, who understand and visit and see and talk to the communities that they want to represent, and know that when they go to the United States Congress, they have to answer to you. They don't serve moneyed interests as their master. So we have very little time between now and November, and wishing for a change in the majority of the Congress, hoping for a change in the majority of the Congress, dreaming of a change in the majority of the Congress, isn't going to get us the majority in the Congress. There's a lot of hard work that goes into every campaign, and we have to win seat by seat. And that means we need people like you guys, people who care, people who know your communities, who serve your communities. We need you in the game, because democracy is not a spectator sport. We are only as strong as the people who participate, and so we need you to volunteer, to talk to your friends, your neighbors, your coworkers, your family, to knock on doors, to phone bank, to get the word out about the very clear choice that voters in this district are going to have in November, to send a quality representative to Congress versus somebody who supports the current president's agenda. Now, there's very little time to get there, but we can get there together. But we need everybody in the game working together. We need Democrats rowing in the same direction. We need you guys to get that excitement built about participating in our democracy, because all that's needed for evil to triumph is for good people to do nothing. We need each and every one of you. I'm so glad to see you out here today supporting Scott. Keep doing that up until November 6th. And if we do that, if we all do our part, we can take back the majority in the House. We can provide a check on this president and on his very bad policies that hurt Americans and hurt families. And we can be proud of our country once again. So thank you for coming. Scott, anything that I can do to be helpful, I will be there for you, brother.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming. Before you leave,
Yes.
my godchildren, guys, the Ramos children, have a gift for you, a parting gift. A little token from Bensalem, from Bucks County. They were just so excited because, like you, they have immigrant parents, and they're U.S. citizens, and they're studying really hard in school, and they hope one day that they could be as successful as you are. So thank you for being here. Scott, we have a present for you too. Hold it up. This is from our Bensalem group here. For Mr. Wallace.
A big t-shirt.
Yeah, t-shirt.
Yeah, you gotta get her a small.
We're the only size we have left.
Amy. Guys, I'm gonna come over. They're jealous. Big sister and big brother. These are our future. I was watching last night a video that Joe Biden was he was speaking to LULAC, and he was saying 25% of our school children are Latino. So this is very important. These are our future. These are our future presidents, vice presidents, congresswomen, congressmen. We have to make sure that what we're putting out there for them, that they have good schools, that they have good health, good education, that their parents are going to be able to provide for them. So these guys, thank you guys. We have a couple other people that are in the house here I wanted to recognize. We have Betty Rodriguez. Betty, get up here. Betty's my friend, but she just is amazing. She is the only Latina ever in Bucks County to hold office. She's been councilwoman for God knows how long. 15 years. 15 years in Bristol Borough. And she just keeps knocking it out. And it's sad. So finally last year we actually got a Latina on our school board here in Bensalem. So we're going to hopefully one day we're going to beat your record and we're going to get somebody on council here. But thank you, Betty, for all you do for the community. We also have Ron Strauss here. Ron's the mayor of Doylestown, and Ron does a lot in Doylestown. It's a very diverse community, and we're very immigrant friendly up there. Yes, so thank you, Ron. We have Jimmy Lamb. He's running for state rep. He's our young candidate here. He's giving it his all. He's doing a great job. Thank you, Jimmy. And anybody else that I should mention? We have Leanne. She's our president of the Bensalem Democrats. Leanne Hart. And with that, everyone enjoy, eat up, mingle, and thank you for coming out.
She forgot. Teresa, you were going to see if anyone needed to register.
Oh, yeah.
We have voter registration.
Turn it on. Turn the mic on.
Mike wasn't on.